Here we are with the one and only Mark Monforti, co-owner with Reina of progrock.com Essentials. He's the label manager. He is also my manager and one of my very dearest friends. So I am here to talk to him because just a few days there's going to be a very important election here in the United States.
Yes.
And we put out a record with Sonus Umbra called Whiteout, which is an album that people have had multiple opinions on, as was the intention, and which I'm really trying to get as many people as possible to listen to and to talk about and to really get a conversation going without taboo, without bullshit. So without further ado,
Yep.
here is Mark. So Mark, tell the people watching this, all the Sonus fans, why did you decide to get involved with a record like Whiteout?
Well, I mean, I'm a huge fan of Sonus, first of all, and we had that discussion without having a singer. Are we going to keep it Sonus or not? And when I heard it for the first time at your place, I said, well, this is definitely a Sonus album. It's nothing. It can't be anything but a Sonus album. So that's why I ended up being involved, because I love Sonus, and this sounded like a Sonus album. And the subject matter, of course, I agree with. So it basically was a non-factor to me. But I'm excited to be part of that because, of course, we're in a time where democracy is on trial right now. We're going to find out if we're a democracy or not in a week. So I'm not one to contribute a lot of money to campaigns. My way of being part of the system is by telling people that they need to get involved and vote. So that's instead of giving money. So
Good. And what would you say to people in Europe and other parts of the world who are not that familiar with American politics and who may view my language and the song titles and the content of the record as perhaps unnecessarily aggressive or very partisan? What would you say? Would you say that the record is a political advertisement, or would you say that the record is a plea for reason and to fight fascism?
right. Well, I don't know. Is it both? I mean, I always think the latter would be the more apt description. But let's just be clear. For those of the UK that didn't like Brexit or didn't like the Prime Minister that lasted for about 4 days, this is much further to the right than you could ever imagine. And for those of you maybe in Italy or Germany dealing with the right, encroaching on people's freedoms, it's here. It could be here very easily. It's a whisker away. So we need to educate. We need low education. We need low educated voters to really figure out what they're voting for.
That's right. And do you think the album successfully makes a stab at this? Would you say?
So yes, and it does it in a way that's a little bit less obvious than I thought it was going to be, because it deals with the subject matter via sound bites. You've heard sound bites in many other things in progressive rock, and this does it. This uses that in the same way that other things, like when I think of arriving Porcupine Trees. What song is that now? I'm losing it. It's Recycling the Planet song.
Yes.
Yeah, it reminds me of that. If you like the way that Steve Wilson used, it's time to. I can't remember the name of the song now.
Yeah, leave the earth before it's recycled.
Yes,
something
yes.
like that, right?
Yeah, from which has the sound bites of a doe from the Heaven's Gate Club. Then you might like this as well.
Well, I I, of course, am very proud of the fact that we were able to get all these brilliant musicians to work with us. And I'm very grateful for all the support and all the distribution that you've given the album. And I just wish that people could listen to it without fear, and that they should not be intimidated, and that they should not be, they should just listen to it
Right.
and then have an opinion, rather than think of it like a wrestling match. I'm very happy with what we did. It is really my contribution as an artist with Andy Tillotson and everybody else to put this album together to make a plea that whether you're a Republican or Democrat or what the fuck ever, hopefully what you are not are fascists and demented right-wing lunatics who really just want the homogeneity of views. So the music is intended to be cathartic, but it's also intended to be hopeful, and it's intended to reach out to everybody. And I hope that people who listen to the record get that from it. And if they don't, I hope that they are willing to tell me about it. I want to talk. Anything you want to say to viewers about this record? Anything that I've missed? Anything you think is useful for listeners?
Well, I think it's an extremely important album. I think it should be on everybody's list of. It should be in the conversation of album of the year. It's really that good. And let me tell you this: I'm not really typically a fan of instrumentals, but I do love, public service broadcasting and other albums such as that as this. I think you should definitely check it out and make a decision for yourself. Maybe it'll be cathartic for you as we get closer to the election, and the results you may need after the results you may need a little bit of a respite as well. So check out that album.
Thank you, Mark.
Sure.
Thank you, everybody.
Sure.
You know where to find us online.
Yeah.
And we are going to try to do our work to now demolish deliciousness.
Yummy.
Cheers.